Most parents feel like sex has become so infrequent that it's just awkward when it happens. Plus, there's so much pressure for it to be perfect that we're afraid to even try sometimes, or it ends up in disaster, right? And the problem is that if you don't learn how to navigate that awkwardness, then we're heading for the roommate situation or even worse, right? Because awkwardness breeds avoidance. So, how do we fix our sex life after kids? I mean, really, we stop waiting for the magic to happen. And I want to show you three core intimacy skills that are going to help you create that spark a little bit more for yourself on a random Tuesday, even when it's been a busy day with the kids and it's not what you think it is. I know everybody says that, but it's not. Okay. If you're new here, I'm Sofia, certified intimacy coach and a mom of three who has been exactly where you are, staring at my partner across the pile of laundry and wondering where the person that used to flirt, that used to go out and get all dressed up, went, right? The truth is, if we're going to fix your sex life after kids, we've got to be a little bit honest about why it feels so different now than it did in our 20s. Because we're often trying to live up to some invisible expectation about how sex used to work. We're trying to recreate the magic without ever having actually learned the skills to build it in the first place. Okay. We've been relying on sort of mediocre sex skills or accidental sex skills for a long time. And now the conditions are different and relying on that magic just isn't working in the same way. So I want you to time travel back to your 20s for me for a second, okay? Maybe you were single. I think this mostly applies to when we're single, but even in a longer term relationship, right? We were going out a lot. Certainly my 20s involved a lot of bars, a lot of social occasions. And you had all evening to pregame, right? To put on the music, get in the vibe, put on that outfit that made you feel good, have a few drinks before you leave, and then either flirt with your new boyfriend or girlfriend or partner or meet someone new. You're all peacocked. They're new to you. You've got drinks in your system. You have liquid courage to get over that awkwardness. You go home and it feels like magic. It feels natural. It feels easy. That's not everyone's experience. I can certainly say that wasn't always my experience, but that's the general story. And we fast forward to now, and this is where the ego kind of gets in the way because we think we're supposed to be these five-star sex chefs just because we've been doing it for a decade. But if you've only ever cooked with prepackaged meals in a microwave, AKA lots of alcohol in a low stress situation, then you can't act surprised when you don't know how to cook a gourmet meal from scratch in a kitchen that's super fancy, right? So, my first piece of advice is we have got to get humble. We have to admit we never learned the skills of intimacy, like true intimacy. And it has nothing to do with positions and very little even to do with techniques, in my view. Okay. There are three core skills that you need to master if you want a sex life that survives parenting. Because here's the thing, right? That context that we were in our 20s doesn't exist now. Now it's Tuesday night. I'm exhausted. I've been dealing with snot and lunches and laundry and all of the things. There is no alcohol in my system. I haven't spent 3 hours getting all jazzed up and dressed up and grooved up and twerking and whatever. And I just watched you clip your toenails and floss your teeth. So there ain't no mystery there either. Now, does that mean we can't have amazing sex in that situation? No, we can absolutely have amazing sex in that situation. But it doesn't start the same. It doesn't look the same. So, what are the skills that we actually need? Skill number one is internal listening. Most of us are very bad at knowing what our bodies actually want because we're either too busy worrying about what we should want, or we're very stuck in our heads, or we're worried about how we're supposed to perform. Okay. The true key to enjoying sex, to having great sex, is to be in the body, in the senses, and to real time be having a dialogue with that body about what it's enjoying, what it wants more of, what it's craving. And a lot of us have turned the volume down on our body and we're not hearing it anymore, which means we're not going to get very far. Okay. Skill number two, expressive truth. Once you hear your body, you have to be able to translate for it to your partner. That is a skill. Okay. It takes courage. It takes an ability to do it well without creating defensiveness. Okay. It's, I need this, or I'm at my limit right now, without a guilt trip, without a fight, without feeling bad about it. But we got to hear what our body needs and we got to be able to express it. Skill number 3 is what I call the responsive dance. And this is the ability to hear and respond to your partner's requests and limits while staying connected to your own, right? So it's not about sacrifice, it's about conversation. It's about, you want me to do X. Am I open to X or am I not? I'm not open to X, but I could be into Y. Back and forth we go with joy, with pleasure, with playfulness as we play naked, essentially. So I just want you to notice for a second, like, this has nothing to do with how you touch a clit or how you create erotic tension or how you create polarity, and everything to do with intentional connection with myself and with you, and intentional and caring communication about those two things. Okay. That is actually the skill of good sex. And it's the skill of consent that creates safety that avoids what we were talking about last week. This is a big part of why I built the Naked Fun Toolkit, which is one of my mini programs. It's a wonderful little date night package that teaches you how to throw a party for your libido, even if you feel like you don't have one. And inside of it, we've got 3 of my favorite transition tools that just help you to manage when you are sober and stressed, right? So in our 20s, we were drunk a lot of the time and didn't have a lot of stress in the same way. And now we're sober and stressed out and we want sex to just magically happen, right? It's essentially like we're trying to have 5-star sex in a 0-star environment without an actual skill to fall back on. Okay. We're waiting for that libido dust to fall from the sky, but the alcohol and the peacocking that we talk about, right? They aren't there to save us anymore. So if you want to fix this, you have to do one thing that most of us hate to do, and that's drop the ego. Stop telling yourself that you should be better at this, that you should just know how, that you should just know how to read your partner's mind. Stop feeling like a failure because you and your partner are standing in the bedroom feeling like 2 awkward teenagers who don't know where to put their hands. Oh my God, I had that moment 3 weeks ago. Okay. That awkwardness is not a sign that your relationship is broken, that there's attraction missing, or that somebody's libido is, gone offline. It's just a sign that you're actually a novice or maybe an advanced beginner expecting themselves to be an intermediate or master. Okay. So if I give you anything today, it's let's get humble. Let's go back to the basics. Give yourself and your partner permission to be bad at this for a little while. And go back to learning how to build the magic with the actual tools that do that. You don't need to take libido pills. You don't need to magically desire sex. You need the right tools to bridge the gap between the snot-covered daily reality and the intimacy that you actually want. Okay. So if you're ready to do that, you can click the link in the show notes. You can grab the Naked Fun Toolkit. It is $17 right now. It's the easiest way to start mastering these transitions so that you can plan that party that your libido wants to come to this week. I am so glad you were here with me today. As always, DM me on Instagram, send me an email if this resonated. Let me know what questions you have or what topics you want me to cover, and share with a friend who is most certainly suffering too. I will catch you next week. Dearest gentlemen listeners, to my dearest gentlemen listeners, those of you with high libidos who identify as male, I have put together something very special for you because I have been talking to way too many of you in my DMs who are ready to join the Naked Fun comeback, but you are terrified of talking to your partner, or you already know it's a hard no. So the question becomes, what can you do then? Go to therapy, read another book, try having another conversation. What you're going to do is join the First Move. This is my men's only group coaching program, July through September of 2026. And over 6 weeks, we're going to dismantle the 4 most common traps that I see you falling into. We are going to end your era of overdoing to keep the peace. We are going to end your era of sort of doing the mental load, but not all the way. We are going to end your era of keeping your feels to yourself, bottling them up, and then having them spill all over your partner. And we are going to end the era of you not saying what you truly mean anymore. We're going to help you to show up with leadership to the conversation, to mental load, to your personal feelings and emotions so that you stop keeping the peace and you start creating real conversation in your relationship that is loving and open and productive. And by productive, I mean it doesn't circle around endlessly, but it actually gets you somewhere. So if you are caught in the merry-go-round of avoidance, but you don't have a partner who's ready yet to step into the work, there's something you can do on your own. Find the link in the show notes for the first move, and I will see you there. Dearest gentlemen listeners, to my dearest gentlemen listeners, those of you with high libidos who identify as male, I have put together something very special for you because I have been talking to way too many of you in my DMs who are ready to join the Naked Fun comeback, but you are terrified of talking to your partner or you already know it's a hard no. So the question becomes, what can you do then? Go to therapy, read another book, try having another conversation. What you're going to do is join the first move. This is my men's only group coaching program, July through September of 2026. And over 6 weeks, we're going to dismantle the 4 most common traps that I see you falling into. We are going to end your era of overdoing to keep the peace. We are going to end your era of sort of doing the mental load, but not all the way. We are going to end your era of keeping your feels to yourself, bottling them up, and then having them spill all over your partner. And we are going to end the era of you not saying what you truly mean anymore. We're going to help you to show up with leadership to the conversation, to mental load, to your personal feelings and emotions so that you stop keeping the peace and you start creating real conversation in your relationship that is loving and open and productive. And by productive, I mean it doesn't circle around endlessly, but it actually gets you somewhere. So if you are caught in the merry-go-round of avoidance, but you don't have a partner who's ready yet to step into the work, there's something you can do on your own. Find the link in the show notes for the first move, and I will see you there.